Today we're previewing our solids vocabulary. Now, I pulled the letters to the words to the left side. They're currently situated so that you can fold them over to reveal the word so that you can look at the definition example and quiz yourself to see if you know what the term is, flip it over and check, or you can just look at the word with it closed and see if you can think of what it is and then open it up to see if you were right. So a couple of different ways to use this foldable to review. So a prism is a solid with two bases that are congruent and parallel. So if we see, we have a triangular base on top and we have a triangular base on bottom. Okay. And so those are both the bases. And I am using my finger as a stylus, so I apologize that it's not neater. But what we want to notice is that they are parallel, one on top and one on bottom. And for a prism in particular, the base is the side that when it rests on it, it is the same shape all the way up. So that covers our second term, base. Okay, so that's and so in this triangular prism, the base is a triangle, and it's a triangle all the way up when it rests on its base. Now, a pyramid is a solid with one base and faces, which is what we call the different sides of a solid, the faces that meet at a single point. So we're going to write the word point in there. And so what we mean is all of the sides meet at this point here at the top. They all meet at that point. Okay. A cylinder is a prism with circular bases, And what that means is that the base is a circle, and it said base is because it's got one on bottom and it's got one on top. Now notice it says it's a prism. That means when it's sitting on the base, it's the same shape all the way up. So it's a circle all the way up. As you go all the way up, the shape at any given point is a circle. It's a circle. Okay, a cone is a pyramid. Okay, so think about what we said up here with pyramids, okay, with a circular base. It's a pyramid with a circular base, Okay, and that just means that its base is a circle, but just like a pyramid, its sides meet at a point at the top, at a common point. Now, a sphere is a solid in which each point is equidistant from a center point, So in the middle of that sphere, there's a point, and this is the set of all points that are equidistant from it, okay? And there are radii away, so all of the points that are equidistant from that center. Volume is the number of cubic units it would take to fill an object. So if we look at this shape and we think about how many little cubes it would take to fill it up, okay, that's how many cubic units it would take to fill it up. And we can calculate that when we calculate volume. The surface area is the sum of the areas of all the faces or sides of an object. Remember when we said faces, that's just the geometric term for the different sides of an object. So the surface area is the sum of the area of all the faces or sides of an object. So if we think about a cylinder, it has a top and a bottom that are both circles. So we would add those areas. And it has its side that is a rectangular shape if we open it up. And so we would add that area. So the sum of all three of those areas together makes the total surface area of an object. Now, if we ask for the lateral area, we're talking about the surface area of an object without its bases. So without the bases. So we would minus or subtract the bases or just never add them in to begin with. So the surface area of an object without the bases. So here's that cylinder again, but we're not including the top or the bottom. We're not including either of those bases. Just the sides. Remember, lateral, like your lateral muscles, your lats are your side muscles. So it's just the sides area, not the bases, without the bases. Okay. The dimensions of an object. Well, we can mean a few different things here. First of all, we need to understand the difference between two-dimensional or 2D and three-dimensional or 3D. If a shape is flat and can be measured just using length and width, it's considered two-dimensional, like our first square here. If it additionally has height, then it becomes three-dimensional, length, width, and height, forming a cube like we see here in a 3D picture. So 2D is flat, 3D has that depth to it, or third dimension that's added. Now, if we're talking about the measures of those lengths, widths, and heights, those are the dimensions, plural, of an object. So like if we said an object is 5 by 8 by 7, okay, 5 inches by 8 inches by 7 inches, those are its dimensions. Those are its dimensions. It's 5 by 8 by 7. Okay. Now, a cross section is the two-dimensional shape created by slicing a three-dimensional object with a plane. So let's write in that word. It's slicing. Hopefully your handwriting is better than mine on this screen. Okay, and so you can see that plane cuts through or slices through the object. And you can see in purple the shaded pentagon, the two-dimensional shape created when we slice that shape with the plane. So that pentagonal little shape created, that purple flat shape there, is the cross section, Now, a composite figure is a combined figure formed by adding or subtracting various shapes. So we can add various shapes. So it's formed by adding or subtracting. We can take away part of a shape from a shape to create a composite figure. So a composite figure is not just one shape. It's either two or more shapes added together or a shape with another shape subtracted from it. So adding or subtracting various shapes makes a composite figure. And then our last term for this unit preview is similar figures. Now we know about similar figures because we talked about them way back in our triangles unit on similar figures. So similar figures are shapes in which corresponding angles are congruent. So you can do your little congruent symbol there. Okay. And corresponding sides are proportional. Corresponding sides are proportional. Now we've done that with two-dimensional objects. And in this unit, we're going to deal with three-dimensional objects that are proportional. So we'll look at their area ratios and their volume ratios later this unit. Take your time to pause the video to go back and review those basic terms. A lot of these will be familiar from middle school, and we'll be taking them into further depth this unit.